The internal temperature of the van was 95 degrees and we're down to 87 and we're still going. It's only been like 35 minutes, so far so good. Also, I wanted to mention we have a giveaway at the end of this video as well as a $50 off coupon. So stay till the end and I'll give you the coupon code as well as the instructions on how to enter the giveaway.
One of the reasons Kevin and I do not travel that much in the van during the summertime is because it is just too hot.
We've been caught in some really hot temperatures in the van down in San Felipe, Baja and the panhandle of Florida, and being hot and sticky in the van is not something that you want to deal with.
We've always thought about taking the van down to Central America and checking out Panama, Guatemala, and all those amazing countries down there. But with the hot and humid temperatures, we just think it would be super uncomfortable with the current setup of our van.
When we were building out this van, we thought about installing an air conditioning unit, but with the added expense and the additional battery bank capacity needed, it just didn't fit our budget during the build.
But now, thanks to EcoFlow, we think we can officially add those hot and humid destinations back to our bucket list thanks to their newest product, the Wave.
EcoFlow just sent us this portable air conditioner unit, and although we're not traveling right now, we're at Taylor's parents' house for the 4th of July, hence the shirt. And it's perfect because it's 85 degrees right now with a high of 88. And the perfect temperature to test this bad boy out and see if it'll cool down our van while the sun's beating down on it. But before we get testing, Taylor is going to give you an overview of some of the features and highlights of the EcoFlow Wave.
Feels like 20 degrees cooler out here. Thing's blasting, man.
Yeah, it's still not on. We're doing the tech specs.
What's that?
We're doing the tech specs. We're going to give them all the information about it.
Oh no, I'm not a tech person. I just want to stand in front of it and cool my you-know-what.
Thanks for the nice clean table.
Yeah, you like the table? I made that.
All right, I'm going to get into the tech specs for the Wave. This isn't really my area of expertise, so please excuse me if I fumble over it a bit. But the Wave has 4,000 BTUs, which means it should be able to cool down our van and other small spaces similar in size. There are two different ways to run this bad boy. The first one is your typical AC power source, which can be plugged into any normal outlet. And the second way is by battery bank. So you can either purchase the battery that comes with the Wave, which is this one sitting right here, or you can use this cord here to plug it into the EcoFlow Delta or any other type of power station. If you do decide to buy the battery that goes with the Wave, there are 3 different ways to charge it. One, the AC power adapter, which, like I said, can be plugged into any normal outlet. 2, the 12-volt cigarette outlet that can be found in your car. Or 3, you can purchase these awesome EcoFlow solar panels, which can charge it up by the sun. The rest of the party has arrived.
If you're wondering how big this thing is, it's roughly 37 pounds, just the air conditioner alone, and the battery bank itself is roughly 17 pounds. So putting this together, it does get a little heavy, and in terms of height, it is roughly 19 inches high in the front and maybe 18 inches in the back with a width of 12 inches. There's 4 main buttons on this unit. The first one is power, which is obviously essential. The next one is the mode, which allows you to switch from cooling to a fan mode. So if you're already at the desired temperature, you can just turn the fan on and circulate that air within your space. Then you have 2 other modes, which is a time mode, so you can set this on a timer up to 8 hours, as well as the temperature to set your temperature to a desired state. There's also a dial here, which is where you can increase the fan speed or increase or decrease the temperature. I just turned the AC unit on, and it also connects to an app on your mobile phones, so you can adjust the temperature, the speed of the fan, which allows you to control this wirelessly, which I think is really cool because once you have it set up and maybe you're laying in bed at nighttime and you want to adjust the settings, you can do that right on your phone instead of getting up and going up to the dial to adjust everything. I saw on a video on YouTube that people use ribbons to show how powerful a fan is, so I decided to bring this into this video and give it a test because the fan speed on this is pretty powerful, and we'll see how long it goes. So this is how long do you think this is?
That's like a foot.
That's
maybe
like,
a little longer.
Yeah, maybe like
definitely longer.
18 inches. We'll do one that's like, what, 6 feet?
6 feet?
Yeah. If it can go 6 feet, that's pretty powerful.
It's not gonna go 6 feet, I don't think.
It might. Okay, 6 feet versus 18 inches. Turn it on. Put the fan mode all the way up. It's going to be pretty awkward if it doesn't move at all. But to be fair, we are outside.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, that's not bad. All right, it's time to test this out and put it in the van. We have the thermometer set inside right now, and the temperature is currently...
Outdoor 90, indoor 87.
Okay.
Hot.
So it is 87 inside the van right now. We're gonna put the EcoFlow right here in the front on the swivel seat, and we're gonna have the exhaust air going out the passenger window. So hopefully it'll cool down this area relatively quickly. The back of the van is in the sun, so we'll see how it competes with it. If you're using this portable AC unit inside, then you need a place to put the exhaust air from the AC unit. So you have the cool air going out, but that's also creating hot air from the system. So this hose setup clips onto the back of this relatively easily. And once you have the hoses hooked up, you can divert the hot air wherever you need to. So we're gonna do it outside the passenger window and having that hot air go completely outside of it. And then there's also an intake hose, which would pull air from the outside because you don't want to create a vacuum inside your van. I just broke out in a sweat setting this up inside the van because it's 87 in there right now and it's 90 degrees outside. So we just got it set up. You can see the exhaust hose. This is the hot air. This is the cool intake. For ease of use, we just set it up out of the window. We did buy mesh that when we were using this permanently, or not permanently, but while we're living in the van, we'll have a screen over this to prevent bugs from going in. But what we're gonna do is separate the cabin from the actual van itself with our curtain and let the AC cool this area down.
Oh yeah.
One thing I forgot to mention, the EcoFlow Wave does come with a drain hose, but they say if the humidity is less than 70%, you do not need it because the cooling mechanism is self-sufficient and it will spit out some of that condensation out the exhaust pipe, which is really, really nice since you don't have to worry about any water leakage unless it's really, really humid outside. I just used this infrared temperature gauge to read the temperature coming out of the cool area of the EcoFlow Wave, and it was down to like 56 to like 63 degrees, which is really nice and cold. I can feel the hot air coming outside of the exhaust right now, and let's see if this will pick it up. It is 98 degrees coming out the exhaust, so you definitely want to have the exhaust outside of your vehicle if you're using this inside a van. But if you're using this in a tent or anything like that, then you really don't need to worry about the exhaust from it because it's just going to dissipate into the open air. Time to close the door.
Time to close the door.
See how it goes.
Let's test her out. It is officially 2:19. We'll be back in about 3 hours to see what the temperature is then.
The sparks come back and burn the shit out of your hand.
All right, we are in the van, and let me tell you, it is relatively cool. It is 86 degrees outside and 77 in here according to the thermometer, but with the breeze on you, it feels much cooler than that. Unfortunately, I let this thing die. We were out celebrating the 4th of July, and I waited about 3.5, 4 hours until I came back in here, and it was going at full blast earlier, and it kind of just, the battery gave out. So I plugged it in with the inverter and waited another hour, and it got down to 77. When I came in here though, the AC was off and it was 85 degrees inside the cabin here, and outside temperature was 90 with the sun beating down on it. So I wish I caught it when the AC unit was actually running because it probably would have been much colder. But it's pretty impressive knowing that it is 77 degrees inside here. It's very comfortable and we're just chilling. Another thing that I'm pretty impressed with is the fact that I am cooling off the entire living space of the van, not just like the back section where the bed would be. So if it was super, super hot at night, like 100 degrees, then maybe I would need to move it back. But in the current environment, it's 86 degrees outside right now, and I have it positioned all the way to the front, and it's getting the back cool. So that's pretty cool, especially knowing that the sun was beating down on it. It's pretty impressive, and it's not really that loud. You can see that I'm kind of towards the back of the van. The noise that you're hearing right now is like white noise from the air conditioner, and I think I could tolerate that, especially based on the fact that the fan is pretty much all the way up. But you can tell I have like a little bit more room to go, but it's pretty much all the way up, and I have it set to 59 degrees right now, so it's really cranking. So it's probably on its loudest setting at the moment. I think this is a game changer for us in terms of going to hot locations where we otherwise would not have gone due to humidity and heat issues. We definitely tend to have a hard time sleeping at night if the temperature inside the van is above 73, so this would definitely help us get the temperature down, and we'd probably be able to maintain an ideal temperature at night because the sun's not on it, the outside temperature is cooler, and it'd just be easier to maintain that colder temperature at night. Today is day 2 of testing out the Wave in the van. I wanted to do a complete test where I'm actually inside the van and I can monitor the unit while it's in use. So right now I haven't opened the van yet. The EcoFlow Wave is right outside. It's 82 degrees, or let me check the temperature really quick. It is 86 degrees, feels like 92, so it's pretty hot out. So it should be a good test, and I bet you the temperature inside the van right now is going to be pretty hot. So I'm going to be editing this video that you're watching right now in the van while the EcoFlow Wave is on, and we'll see how much the EcoFlow Wave cools down the temperature inside the van. Cool, it is definitely hot in here. The temperature is inside the van right now 96 degrees. It might be a little dark. Now hopefully it's a little light. It is 96 degrees in here right now. It is really hot. I'm not going to open the windows. I'm going to try and keep the doors shut as much as I can, especially since people are mowing their lawn right across the street, so it's pretty loud. But we'll see how this does. The outside temperature is 93. I have a little thermometer that I have resting on the side view mirror right here, so we can get a gauge on how hot it is outside. We'll go from there. I need to get this set up though, because I am hot. We got the EcoFlow set up in terms of the exhaust. Let me turn on the battery here, get this going. Oh, it's saying it's 93 right now. I'm gonna crank this fan up, set the temperature down to like 71. I'm gonna lower this to try and keep some of the sun out, even though the sun's shining on that side, but it's okay. So right now it's set to fan mode, which is why there's 50 hours of battery life remaining. I need to switch this over to AC because currently it's blowing out, let's see, 91 degrees, which is not cold enough. So I'm gonna pull out the EcoFlow app. So I just connected to the app. I'm gonna switch it over to cool mode instead of just fan mode. So there's 3 options on the bottom here: fan, cool, and eco. Eco will preserve the battery a little bit more. But it's 95 degrees. We need to get this temperature cooled down, and then once it gets a little bit chilly, then I'll switch over to Eco for a longer lasting battery. And since the sun's out, I can technically connect it to my inverter and keep it charged because the sun is going to keep my battery bank charged. So I'm going to switch over to cool mode right now. You can see it on the dash here. I have the temperature set to, let's set it to 71 degrees. And we'll see how long it runs for. So it's set to 71. The fan's at about 60%. I'll crank that up right now because it's really hot. It's 95 in here, and I'm going to set up my computer and probably start editing this vlog right now. So it's been 1:32. I think we started at 1:15, so 15 minutes. Just dropped again to 92. The temperature coming out from the Wave is about 63 degrees, 64, so it's doing pretty good. I'm pumped. So within 30 minutes, we got the van, what did we start at, 95, so we're at 88 degrees now, which it's definitely starting to get cooler. I was pretty hot, I'm not gonna lie. Might be sweating a little bit, but it's tolerable. And, ooh, 87. Here we go. Realistically, I think we will use this like right before bed, so the actual inside internal temperature is not gonna be as hot. And then also, we would open up all of the doors and the windows to try and get some cool air in instead of using that air inside the van that's been baking for the last, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours in the sunlight. So I wanted to put an extreme use case to the test. The internal temperature of the van was 95 degrees and we're down to 87 and we're still going. It's only been like 35 minutes, so far so good. Okay, it's been just about an hour and the temperature is down to 83 degrees, and that is back here. This is where the thermometer is. If I move it to the front of the van, it is definitely a lot colder up there, but it is pretty good. I just wanted to check in, give you guys an update. We are an hour in and we dropped the temperature in the back of the van, far from the unit, 12 degrees. In the middle of the day, it is currently 2:21 right now, so pretty impressive. Okay, it is currently 4:11 p.m., so I've been in the van for about 3 hours now, editing this vlog, and I must say that I was relatively comfortable throughout my entire time in the back of the van here. It was hot in the very beginning. The EcoFlow wave was able to drop the temperature 13 degrees and maintain a temperature about 82 according to this thermometer. I'm not really sure, but a few things to keep in mind is that I'm all the way in the back of the van. The EcoFlow is all the way in the front on the passenger swivel seat. That's a pretty big distance to drop the temperature back here while the sun is beating down on the van, so I'm quite pleased with it. If I was gonna stay in the van, I would probably move it up onto the grill in the kitchen and have it duck out the T-vent, just so it would focus more on this back area where I'm hanging out. But overall, it dropped it 13 degrees, and I didn't really give it a head start because I did not open any of the doors in the very beginning to allow that really hot air to cool out. So I think it did a great job. In terms of battery for the EcoFlow, I've been going off and on the inverter. I've been in here for 4 hours, so obviously the maximum output is 2.5 to 3 hours. So it would have died if I didn't do that, but right now it's on the battery. It's at 81% and there's currently an hour and 45 minutes left, and it is on the max output on the cool settings. So I just switched this over to eco mode and it just gave a boost of an hour, so it's 3 hours now of battery life. Set on the lowest setting. If I bump that up to the mid tier or the high setting, then that battery life would be a little bit extended, but it wouldn't be as efficient, obviously. So that's something to consider. I think the best use case for us during the day would be to bring this unit a little bit closer to where we're hanging out to keep us cooler, drop that temperature down even further just for a specific area of the van. And then at nighttime, I think it would be perfect over there where the temperature overall outside, there's no sun beating down on the van. We could open up the doors, let all the air out, get that fresh air in, and then put the EcoFlow on timing mode, and that would probably last us for like 6 hours or so, where it would be cool enough, and then if we needed to, we could plug it in and run it off the AC. I'm going to wrap everything up in the van here, and I'm going to jump inside of the house, and I'll talk about the coupon code EcoFlow is currently offering, as well as the giveaway we are doing on our Instagram. So right now, up until July 13th, EcoFlow has a huge sale across all of their product lines, and for the pre-sale order, which is up until July 13th, the EcoFlow Wave is $11.99 for just a standalone Wave. If you want the battery add-on, I think it comes out to $17.99, but with our coupon code MATHERSWAVE, that's MATHERS WAVE, you'll get an additional $50 off, which is really nice. And over on our Instagram, we are giving away this EcoFlow River Mini Standard plus a 60-watt solar panel from EcoFlow. They pair perfectly together, and we use this to charge our accessories like our laptop, which I used today during the van while I was editing this video. So head to our Instagram. I'll leave a pinned comment below. And if you have any questions about the Wave, drop a comment and I'll do my best to answer them. But thanks so much for watching, guys. We are heading back for our last episode in Norway.
All you have to do, listen to me, Miss YouTube special. If I get a pair of long underwear on, a roly-boly, and my winter coat, and my ice skates, and sit in your van, I'll be frozen solid from that thing.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable air conditioner. They'll have to thaw me out for like a week.
Meet Glenn, our crazy neighbor.
Comes by every morning. Sometimes multiple times a day.
Yeah, and make sure that you two are still not in jail. All right, I gotta go down the beach now and do a YouTube video. Thank you.
Yeah? All right, well, happy 4th.